This episode may contain strong language and adult themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the 22 Dropouts, where I'm being forced to drive around and around because Mike's a cock.
Yes, hello and welcome to tonight's 22 Dropouts. Tom is in his car. He is driving around somewhere near Gloucester. He has found some street lights because apparently they have those sort of things over there. And we're just going to let Tom finish his drive. Actually, for health and safety reasons, all that Tom is doing, Mr. Policeman, is he is driving around the car park outside his flat. So you don't need to worry.
Exactly. Just flashed a nice person and let me through. Makes a change for people around here.
You just flashed at a nice person.
In Gloucester, do they? Not what I heard.
I think where you're flashing. Hey, oh, you both flashed at each other. I'm impressed. Harry, as a former housemate of Tom's, did he often flash at you?
Yes, I'm scarred.
He flashed at you and then reciprocated.
Now, anybody else on this show who? No, actually, nobody on this show has shared a room with Tom because we normally stick Harry in there, don't we? As it were.
Or Chris.
Or Chris.
My other cuddle buddy.
Your cuddle buddy, Chris.
Yeah.
Big spoon or little spoon? That's all
I think Harry would say that Chris is your only cuddle buddy.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you might. Although Harry does snore like a fucking trooper and he talks in his sleep. There you go. Hashtag, you heard it here first. And also, it's a pain in the arse to wake up in the morning, but that's another story. Anyway, welcome to tonight's show. Welcome everybody. We have had we've had quite. Phil's just messaged in the group going,
Here we are, 20 minutes, and we got no A-roll tape.
I don't know, mate. This is mate. If you lived in
kiddies now with words like tape and roll.
And Phil, if you lived in LA, this would be proper pucker stuff. Stuff. No, Phil. Well, we've got you.
If I lived in LA, I would show you traffic, not like what Tom is showing.
Yeah. And it's not quite the same in Vegas, is it? Because Phil and I just happened to be talking about this the other day. Being a 24-hour city, the way that Vegas is, you don't really sort of have the same rush hours as you would in California.
No, we got 20% of our force work at night, but 30% work swings. So you got about 50% that work a traditional 8 to 5 kind of a deal.
So when he says swing, he doesn't mean they're all swingers. He means they work.
Not all.
Not all of them. Just some of them. It is the capital of the America's sex video industry, mind. But there you go. Now listen. I see that you've been watering your head this weekend, mate, because there's sprouts growing up there.
There are sprouts.
What the hell happened? Did you see some raindrops?
I got to tell you, so we had the World Senior Games in Utah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday was one of the best rugby experiences ever. It was just so good to see a bunch of old guys out playing rugby again on an excellent pitch and everything else. And I looked at the forecast earlier in the week or last week, saying it was supposed to rain on Friday. So I warned everybody, and it rained so hard that the pitch became unplayable. So we actually found American football at a high school, which wasn't a bad alternative really because it's all weather. And we ended up playing and doing the finals on Friday because the grass fields weren't going to be available on Saturday, and the artificial fields weren't going to be available because of high school football.
No, I've seen the video from that event. I didn't realise that wasn't your main pitch where you were supposed to be. I just assumed that's where you booked it, but you weren't supposed to be there at all.
No, we had an awesome. There's one of the top high schools in the United States called Snow Canyon, and that's where we were playing at, or they were playing at. Back 10 Pros was the referee organization, and the Rugby Foundation was supportive, and it was excellent. I mean, nice grass, change rooms, all that kind of stuff. I mean, what you guys are probably traditionally used to. And they have a pretty good drainage, but they have a problem called clay. And it's a lot of clay in the Utah mountains.
To be honest, in Utah, that could be somebody's name.
It could actually, yeah. It could be a lot of people's names.
Probably a country singer.
Clay, there you go, clay pitch. That's a proper banjo swinging name, that is. Clay pitch. Julian, has Wales just scored in the football, mate?
Yes, they have, yeah. 1-0.
Very good.
Son.
Have you noticed nobody else gives a fuck?
Nobody gives a fuck but me. I don't care. Happy days.
That's okay then. That's okay. So, Phil, these senior games then, mate, how did that come about?
Well, that's the World Senior Games have been going on for 25 years. This was the first year they had rugby. And they're already committed to doing it next year as well. They already announced that they're going to do it next year. We're going to be the provider for that. So that's how it came about. The sad part was because of COVID and the travel restrictions, most of the teams end up canceling probably 2 or 3, 4 months ago. So we only end up with 8 teams, and 2 of the teams had to form a second side in order to fill in an 8-team bracket. So that part of it didn't go as well, but everybody got to play. The idea was they're playing a full 15s game on Thursday, and then the winner, that kind of stuff, go on and play each other on Friday, and then the winner of that second bracket play each other in championship. So everybody plays through.
When you say the World Senior Games, is this the similar world, in inverted commas, as you have in the World Series for baseball, where only Americans are allowed?
No, they had almost 11,000 athletes from around the world at these games, and it goes over 2 weeks. Yeah.
What's the age
cool. That's
What's
cool.
that? 50 and older.
Fair enough.
So basically, that's gold short stuff.
So that's people like me, Sam, Julian, and Daryl.
No, don't include me in that yet. Not yet.
6 more months, mate. 6 more months. 7 more months. 8 more months. Something like that.
Yeah.
I've actually got 12 more months. Plus 2, plus 1, plus 10 days.
I've got nearly 4.5 years.
Oh, you fuck, mate. You're already 53.
Sam. We won't ask Harry how many years he's got.
Don't talk shit, Sam. Seriously. Now, listen, while we're talking about North America, Canada.
Where are they?
So, Phil, tell us about Canada, dude.
I'm fucking embarrassed.
That is
What did I miss?
By Canada?
What did I miss?
They can beat number 20. I predicted this, by the way. I predicted this over a week ago when they barely beat Chile in Canada, and the U.S. barely beat Uruguay in the United States, like literally on the last second kick, right? And both days I said, if you guys can't play that well at home, you guys are going to get your asses spanked when you start going down to South America. And both of them got their asses handed to them handily. And Canada's out. Canada ain't going to be at their World Cup. First time they're ever going to miss it.
Can they not go through repechage?
They probably can. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're out. But yeah, so they represent. Yeah, I mean, they're out. They won't be America's 1 or 2. They won't be America's 1 or 2.
So what you're saying is that they don't qualify as America's 1 or 2. You're just not interested anymore, are you, mate?
If I could tear that flag behind me in half right now, I'd probably do it.
So who qualified instead of
playing
Canada?
Australia though.
So Uruguay is confirmed as America's 1, and now the United States has to play Chile in a back-to-back in I think it's July of next year, and the winner of that qualifies as America's 2.
What about Argentina?
Argentina's already qualified.
Yeah,
Right,
24
okay, so
games.
these are through the next level of qualifications. Then.
But Uruguay were cracking at the last World Cup.
Yeah,
They were
They were,
really
and-
entertaining to watch.
Yeah, they were.
And they beat Fiji, I think, the last
Yeah.
World
Yeah,
Cup.
And that was probably one of the best games of the tournament, I thought.
that was
Entertaining
it.
to watch, anyway.
Oh, that was at the pitch, the ground that they rebuilt, didn't they, from after the storm or something?
That's the one.
In Japan.
Yeah, it guys, I was at the game where, in my opinion, the Canadian rugby game turned around. Went shit. Not went sideways. It dove, and I think it was the 2013 U.S. Canada Test match in Sacramento, and in that game, the Canadian coaching staff decided to play, I think, about 6 players who never had any international experience, but they wanted to give them some international experience against your rivalry. Now, we all know this. Nothing else fucking matters unless you beat your rival. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters if you lose either.
Right.
Yeah,
If you
that's
can't
right.
beat your rival, then you have nothing to brag about. That's the way I look at it.
Now talking before we
Now,
move
they
on,
lost to number 23 Chile.
although Chile, as they've been calling them on the World Series, have done quite well as an invitational side on the sevens. I thought they did. They certainly held their heads high, and they put in some half decent performances. I think they could start becoming quite a force to be reckoned with in the future.
Well, they used to come up to Hong Kong for the qualifying tournament. Never really made it all that far because it was always the same few teams that got through to the finals. But they were there fairly consistently, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Ireland and Hong Kong always qualified.
Yeah, Japan. It was the team that got relegated, and then you had like Hong Kong, and in the more recent years, Ireland towards the finals.
I've been on so much social media in the last 48 hours calling out the Canadian Rugby Canada staff on the embarrassment that they have now portrayed rugby in Canada. And I think it's going to happen in the United States as well.
Was that a positive message you were putting out there?
I'm not being funny. I think Chile might actually take the States. Over 2 legs.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, on that is like, Mike, do you think my messages were positive in direction?
I don't know. I've not read them, but they will certainly be honest. I can guarantee you that. Whether they're positive to the people who receive them or not, they will certainly be honest. Now, listen, while we're talking about Rugby World Cup, Phil, last week during the show, you received a phone call from France. Now, we're all assuming it was the disability ticket office at Rugby World Cup because Sam had been on there before, and I think he volunteered you to push him in his wheelchair. So can you tell us who was calling you from Rugby World Cup?
I have no idea. No idea.
So I guess you thought this is just fucking spam and hung up and don't give a shit.
But I showed you the number was calling me from France, didn't I?
It was definitely coming from France. Sam, how's your disability ticket allowance going?
Still to find out next year, Mike.
So what you're saying is they're going to give you a special round where only those people who've been contacted can go online and queue again with a little ball going over the posts like that until it drops you off the system again.
I have no idea, Mike. All I know is that I've applied for a ticket allocation through the disability part, and they sent me an email quite quickly and said they would be in contact with me in 2022 to take it further. I received an email just recently saying, thanks, we have received it, and we will be in contact with you.
Well, we wait with bated breath to see if Sam's ticketing experience for Rugby World Cup 2023 is any better than the fucking shit that we all went through live on TV trying to buy tickets.
But we got them.
Well, we got some of them, and if you ask Phil, he really didn't get some of the ones he wanted, and we've had to settle for our second choice city, but that's okay. We'll cope with that because we're going to have a good crack. But listen, on that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more stuff about rugby, apparently.
We might enjoy the 2023 World Cup only if you remove all the shit from your car and fill it full of drink.
When you need clear and concise match official communication systems, look no further than the brand new AXIWE AT350.
Radios are always useful, they always help us, especially AXIWEs, where all three of us can be open at any time, we can have open communication.
Available now from refcomsglobal.net. Investing profits into match official development worldwide.
Welcome back to the second part of tonight's 22 Dropouts, where we are, or have been, talking all things Rugby World Cup. And you can check out some of our little outtakes and trailers just by looking up there and searching at 22 Dropouts on social media. Can't they, Julian?
Maybe.
Apparently.
For those who don't know, Julian's our social media guru.
No.
Yes. He did say about 12 months ago he would.
Log in, and now I just get too many messages of weird people.
No, maybe we should pass this on to people like Tom and Harry.
Well, you should, because they're young and do things like this.
They do like doing things like this. Well done, Harry. You've just volunteered. Good lad. Now, listen, we were talking Rugby World Cup and rain in America beforehand. And while we're staying on the sort of subject of America, Premier Rugby Sevens had its inaugural tournament this weekend in the States. Phil, have you been following any of that?
Sorry, what did you call it?
It's called Premier Rugby Sevens.
The other word you used, inaugural, was it?
Inaugural.
You pronounced it wrong. Did you think?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll pronounce it any way I like. You try spelling the bloody thing.
Okay.
Go on then. It's now spelling bee time. Julian, spell inaugural.
No, because that's not a word.
IRST.
Now, Phil, tell us about Premier Rugby Sevens and what it's all about, mate.
Well, the idea is to take some of the professionals to go out there and make money. It's a money event, cash prizes, that kind of stuff. What I found very interesting is on social media the last 48 hours, I haven't seen any pictures of the event except for the referee photos. That's it.
I've seen two photos, which were the men's, with the winners of the men's tournament and the winner of the female tournament. Tell a lie, I've also seen a photo of 5 people as well, all hugging each other from the management team, but that's about it.
I haven't even seen that. I saw people log in and say, hey, they're flying back to California, and I saw Dallin et al. Doing their broadcast with Gareth Reese and things like that, but I haven't seen any pictures of any action, not one.
No, I mean, was it streamed? Was it broadcast?
Yeah. It was broadcasted, and it was rebroadcast on Fox Sports 2, I believe it was.
Now, it's interesting because I only know about it because Dallin was there commentating. I think it could be a really interesting competition, but I don't think it's quite there yet with like you say, the social media, with getting everybody involved, with engaging with people or anything like that. It could go a long way. I just don't think it's started quite right yet.
Well, ask everybody on the call. Has anybody seen any of the PR from the PR Sevens?
Nope.
Did anybody know it was happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done, Harry. Harry's ahead of the curve.
It was a little bit on Mike Friday's LinkedIn profile, yeah.
Something about Friday.
It was on Mike Friday's LinkedIn profile, yeah.
Okay. I tend to not read LinkedIn profiles. They're usually always headhunters trying to give me a new job.
That's not a bad thing, mate, to be fair. And just remind us how you got this job.
I got headhunted on LinkedIn.
There you go, then. So, hashtag you heard it here first.
It works.
Damn it!
You failed miserably there, mate. You really did.
With this job, they led with the word sports analysis, and I was like, ooh, we'll delete that one.
Ah, okay. So nobody really watched the Premier Rugby Sevens, but we'd all perhaps like to in the future and find out a little bit more about it. So Premier Rugby Sevens, if you're watching, because of course we know you're not, sort your shit out, get it out on the social media channels, and let everybody know it's happening. Get it live on YouTube and all the other platforms. That would be really great. But you know, you can have the best thing in the world, and you can be broadcasting it, but unless you tell the world, then people can't watch it. So that's that. Now, who watched rugby at the weekend? Hands up if you were watching a pro game at the weekend.
Oh, I watched an international game as well.
Did you? Julian, tell us what international game you watched.
I watched Denmark versus Finland.
Okay. I was just going to cut to you for some analysis, but I'm not sure I will now. Go on, tell us about the Denmark game.
The European Nations Cup has kicked off. Or the European Cup has started off again. So Denmark were playing Finland, and I was the assessor for the referee on the game. So I watched it live, and first half was quite interesting. It was quite a nice game in the first half. And then it got a little stop-start in the second half, and then it got really tight at the end. It was 19-all with like 10 minutes to go. So it was quite exciting in the last few minutes. Both teams throwing bodies on the line.
Should we blame the referee for the dodgy penalty at the end that won it?
No.
Oh, Sam,
no.
You're not criticising the referee.
The final score by Denmark was a clear try. There was no mistakes made. The referee was actually very, very good.
Yeah,
and did a really good job. Good job, Jonathan. He's a good lad as well. Yeah, Jonathan.
He's a good lad.
So just tell us all who the referee was.
Jonathan Tepler from Germany. Yeah. He did a very good job.
He's a very good lad.
He is a very good lad, did a very good job on the game. The game was supposed to be originally refereed by Rami Arrow from Sweden, but Joel Dume, who's the head of referees in Rugby Europe, forgot that Rami's actually played for Finland, so can't really referee them. It would have been quite funny sending him down there, turning up with his Finnish gear on.
Jonathan was out in Dubai in 2018, Mike, with us.
Not somebody I bumped into often in the bar, unlike you, because you were always sat next to the bar, like Jonathan, me. So that's why we get on so well, mate.
Jonathan was refereeing, mate. We were like helping them ref.
Yeah. Now, Daryl, what did obviously you watched them this weekend? Were you involved as well?
I was at Richmond, London Scottish for the local derby.
Ooh,
oh dear.
AR or fourth official, mate?
AR.
And how did that go?
It was a better first half than it was the second half. I think London Scottish need to find a replacement bench.
What happened to the replacement bench? Did they break it or something?
They're not that poor just because they're Scottish now.
No, I thought you got a game on Friday as well as Saturday, mate.
No, that was the last week. Can I just say, London Scottish are sponsored by, I've probably going to pronounce this wrong, Sam, but they called Tunnels, who make the little crispy chocolate bars and the marshmallow sweets. Let me get it. Tunnocks. So you get changing full of chocolate and crap, and it's brilliant. Yeah.
Tunnocks tea cakes, mate. Tunnocks tea cakes.
So all I'm thinking now is, are you trying to work out for another like 12 million hits on YouTube again? By eating too many chocolate bars?
Julian, that was the old Daryl. You need to look at the new slimline version.
Maybe you need to push it out a bit instead of.
I tell you what, honestly, to be fair, you can actually see the difference. Look at the size of the hoodie that he's wearing, that Daryl's wearing, compared to one that Harry's wearing. Harry looks like he's fucking, he's going to take off. You know what I mean?
And
I've seen more muscle on him. Honestly, I've seen more muscle on him. His penis sits once on Daryl.
You've seen a lot of butcher's penises, have you, Sam?
No, midges, aye. There's plenty.
Midge's penis, sorry.
You've seen a midge's penis before. Do you really look that fucking closely, mate?
He's comparing his mic, that's what it is.
He has to look that closely for his own.
Hang on.
Maybe we should ask Alison.
He needs one of these.
Sam, you walked into that one, son.
Oh, absolutely.
No, listen. When we're talking rugby,
hold on, shut up, mate. Hold on. What's actually scary is the fact that Darrow's got one of those binocular things next to him, man.
Well, it's just in case, Sunshine. Just in case.
Just in case. Oh, he must have been painting his wee Lego man or something, eh?
I'm in my wife's office, and I would imagine this is used to look at scientifically at slides that she sent on certain aspects of her work. So she probably uses it if she needs to get extra view.
I just thought you two were recording sex and she's looking at it closely.
Here's me thinking you were just about to say something about the stamp collection or something.
She's very, very intelligent, my wife. That's what fuck knows why she's with me.
No.
That out, Mike.
No fucking chance. That's staying in, Sunshine. Now, what's all this URC rugby? Can somebody from a Celtic region please explain why everything has just changed, how it's changed, and what the fuck is going on? Because I'm a bit confused. And where can we watch it?
We've added a few South African teams to the league, and I've got to say, every game I've watched so far, with the exception of the Scarlets Munster game, which was just Munster destroying Scarlets on the weekend, which is never a bad thing. Never say this, but it's been some bloody good rugby, to be honest. It's been quick as fuck compared to what we've seen. Some of the crap we've seen the last few years in the Pro 14, in some of the club games.
So that's what I was going to say. But I wanted to know, right, compared to the Pro 14 that you had before, which literally bored the pants off the fucking sheet.
Some of the games have been crackers, absolute blinders.
So my question was going to be, is it any better than it was? And your answer is going to be?
Damn, you're right, yeah.
To be fair, the Pro 14 was needing a bit of a refresh, if you like, right? Like a reload, revamp. But you've got to remember the last two seasons or season has been during COVID. So we've rubbed them out, mate. We've rubbed them out. No, I know, but teams are never playing at the best, are they? Even at international level, they're not, right? It's that simple. No team are playing at their best. So now that they're actually going at it full on, there's some actually outstanding rugby being played, and kudos to the people that set up the URC. I think they've done a fantastic job. What's more worrying, though, is the absolutely disgraceful colour of referee kit that they've got. It's shocking, by the way.
Which one?
Absolutely shocking.
One? The yellow one?
The yellow one with light blue around it. They can't even get a sponsor or nothing, man. It just says URC.
It's just a t-shirt.
On the back of it says URC TV. Watch online.
Yeah.
Honestly. Right, well, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Sam. Clearly, you're quite passionate about the colour of the strip.
They've broken all the records for viewing thanks to that online stuff, because people have been paying the €139 or 139 quid, whatever it is, to pay for the streaming for the whole season.
So talk us through the 139 thing, Jules. I mean, because we obviously had this on Premier Sports before, which is why nobody ever watched it. How on earth? Sam's just realised that his to be fair. Don't do me on that one, Phil. His to be fair. Don't you dare say I owe another quid for the to be fair, because I'm explaining to be fair, so you could just fuck right off now. No,
there, Phil.
We have no. Some people have a swear box. We have a to be fair box, and if anybody says to be fair, they owe a pound.
In all fairness, I did not know about the TBF.
To be fair, mate, yes, you did.
I did the TBF. I did not.
With respect.
Yes, Phil, with respect, I am just making a joke now. I am on 2, by the way.
They've taken the old Pro 14 channel and changed it to the URC.tv. They've marketed it well. They've sold it. They haven't just sold it in the UK or in Italy and in South Africa. They've sold it worldwide.
Yeah, it's global.
That's good.
There's no restrictions on where you can watch it unless there's a TV deal in that country. So they've pushed it out. All small countries like Sweden, Finland, Germany, all these smaller countries that don't get live TV on TV, people are willing to pay 150.
They don't get live TV on TV, do they? Just get recorded TV on TV.
They don't get live rugby on TV every week, so they're willing to pay 104 euros, which isn't much for a year, to be honest.
No,
but to get
well, it is if it's shit rugby, which is why nobody ever subscribed to. No, I get that. I get that now, but it was with the Pro 14, which is why nobody pays for Premier Sports.
It's like $10.50 a month. Get a grip.
Yeah. Now, Harry, you were trying to say something before the Celtics all jumped on top of one another and refused to let you speak.
Do you think that we could actually get some of that money to actually? So,
Harry, you were saying, mate.
Just you were talking about the marketing, but World Rugby didn't seem to get the memo because they put a couple of posts out where they mislabeled it. They were calling it the Ultimate Rugby Championship.
No. Well, to be fair, I'll bring Sam back in now because I just did want to get a word from Harry. Yeah, I mean, UR7s, guys, you must be loving the fact that World Rugby is actually getting out there. And telling everybody about you, even though they don't mean you. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to pick up on something that Sam pointed out, which I think is a very serious point, which is the colour.
To be fair.
It's not, no, but that's another pound. Thanks, Julian. Well done. We'll see you straight after this break.
Hi, I'm Tom Barndell, former England 15s and 7s player. In 2022, I'll be supporting the first ever Samburu Sevens rugby tournament in Kenya. Teams from all over the world will be coming together for the safari and rugby in the plains of the Wildlife Reserve. There are 3 categories of competition for both men and women. Register your interest now at www.samburusevens.com and come join us on this amazing new event.
Welcome back to part 3 of the 22 dropouts. If you want to look at us, there's our social media up there, managed by Jules, and his brother is still waiting for the jingle for
Jason, you little shit.
Mate, he went there and I didn't need to.
That's what your wife said.
And the current tally is Sam with £3, Mike with £3, Jules with 2.
And just tell everybody what this is about, Phil, and why you're keeping score.
Yeah, so what I have noticed is that the people from the foreign lands use the term "to be fair."
That's one for you, Phil.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
My internet went out. What was that? Sorry.
clever like that.
It pays to be like Daryl, who's very quiet, because that way you don't get yourself in trouble.
Actually, Daryl's really quiet because every time we cut to him, it just says Daryl's bandwidth is low. As you can tell, because he's frozen. I guess the kids are all gaming tonight, mate.
I'm just wondering if your wife was doing virtual meetings in that room, does she have problems there?
No.
No, there you go.
No,
There you go.
there's something wrong with the internet.
There's clearly something wrong with the internet, but we'll bear with it. We'll bear with it. It's like trying to talk to Peter Bracken in Ireland, isn't it? And how many times did he break the fucking internet trying to come on this show? Now, before the break, we were talking, or Sam was talking about referee kit colours. Now,
we need Daryl's input on this.
We do need Daryl. In fact, we're going to come to Daryl first. Who has seen the latest initiative from World Rugby, starting in 2027, I believe, with the Six Nations, that we are going to stop teams? Daryl's already exasperated. We are going to stop teams playing in red and green kit.
My only reaction to that will be the Six Nations is not a World Rugby tournament, so they can fuck off.
So, Daryl, I know you just said something on the group chat, but what do you think of this, mate? Because I know you've got to go in and too.
He's still typing.
and now what you're seeing on screen is a black screen.
Frozen again.
I think political correctness gone mad.
No. Well, to be fair, I don't disagree with you.
I'll put it in the chat.
And you'll put it in the chat. It's political correctness gone mad, says Daryl. Hashtag you heard it here first. Oh, no, I didn't, did I, Phil? Sorry, I've just done another TBF, which I'm not going to do now. But Phil keeps reminding me. No, listen. I looked at this, and the first social media post that I read was, I was waiting for the April Fool's joke until I realised it was fucking October.
I read that.
I've actually done a bit of research. I've done a bit of research on this, and we'll get everybody's opinion in a minute. I've done a bit of research on this. Okay. So apparently, this was something that was started as an inclusive thing with football a few years back. There's an association in Britain for people with colour blindness who has welcomed this for obviously good reasons in their opinion. And one of the quotes they said was that 80% of men suffer from colour blindness, particularly suffering from distinguishing red and green. Now, my question is, do those 8% actually fucking watch rugby or not? Because if they don't tinker with it. If they do, okay, let's look at something. But then again, I also want to ask the question, it's a bit like watching snooker in the 70s in black and white. Do you, that was just point, 8% suffer from beer goggles, so what are we doing for them? What we do for them, Daryl, is we have a team of 3 so that they can shout at us, mate. But if you can't distinguish green and black and things like that, how on earth do you distinguish the players from the pitch when it's Ireland? Do you just like have Wales running around with the ball and no opposition? How does that work? Do they all just fade into the background? I mean, guys, what's your thoughts on this? Are you thinking for it or think it's a load of shit?
They were basically handed the Six Nations title last time anyway. You know, everything just went for them for Wales anyway, so we'd be as well just giving it to them again.
Jules, you're right to reply, mate.
Might as well just give the trophy this year as well. It's ours.
Are you saying you're going to win the Six Nations this time, right?
I always say we're going to win the Six Nations.
Okay.
Scotland's going to win it.
Phil, there needs to be some sort of quota or forfeit here, because Jules says Wales are going to win the Six Nations. So if they don't, what is his Rugby World Cup kitty? And we haven't found a lady called Kitty yet. What's his kitty forfeit if Wales do not win the Six Nations this time round?
Well, it's clearly around the idea of drinking.
Maybe he just has to pay more into kitty.
Yeah, or fine kitty.
Well, we could ask him to find Kitty, but I think that might be a bit easy. He'll just go to the first person he knows and says, here's 10 €, just pretend your name is Kitty.
You have to have an ID that proves that your name is Kitty.
Jules, you've got to find somebody called Kitty to come on our show next week.
I know two kitties.
Because I'm going to
Finland. 2 kitties.
No. Whilst we're in France, he has to ask every female if their name is Kitty.
Can I see your kitty?
He has to ask the female, is your name Kitty? If it is, can you please come with me?
And he has to do it in French, right?
Yes. Je m'appelle Julian. Et toi?
Et toi? Tu kitty?
Kitty?
Now, we actually, just stop, boys. We have a resident French speaker. Harry, how is Julian going to ask or introduce himself to a lady or a female? They're French. How is he going to introduce himself and say, is your name Kitty? And if it is, will you come with me, please?
Before getting slapped.
We don't care.
It's France, they won't get slapped.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Julien. Est-ce que tu t'appelles Kitty? Et si oui, est-ce que tu veux venir avec moi? Like, would you like to come with me?
Okay,
I would hope to say something along the lines of, voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
No.
Wouldn't it be, Harry? Wouldn't it be at Vous, Kitty?
Yeah.
But I prefer Harry's. And Harry, we're going to come to you again because, mate, that was sublime. And I really want to just highlight your pronunciation. So can you just say that one more time for us, mate?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Julien. Est-ce que tu t'appelles Kitty? Et si oui, est-ce que tu veux venir avec moi?
If it's yes, let's go with me.
Yeah, mate. And with that little moustache as well, you could almost be French. We only noticed the moustache when I put you on the screen quite big. When you're with everybody else, we don't notice it.
That sounded so good. I would have went with Harry. Honestly, that was good.
Mate, I've got a fucking semi on from that.
Well, go and no tell play.
It's a good job Tom isn't here, isn't it?
Go and no tell play that.
Tom's heard me speak French before. He liked it.
No, I bet he did.
That's
just
Now, it is time for tonight's This or That quiz. And because our guest thought that they could change, they said that I got a message earlier on to say, can we do Wednesday? And I went, no, we record every Monday. That's why we don't have a guest tonight. But she is an Olympian. But she is coming on. She will be coming on when she's got a Monday free. She goes training at the moment on a Monday. So that's fine. Now, one of the people who's on the show tonight who has never done the This or That quiz is our young friend, Harry.
No.
So, Harry, it is time. It is time for your This or That quiz. Now, you've seen it a few times, so you should know what to expect by now. I'm going to ask Phil to be our resident timekeeper. I'm going to ask Julian to be our jingle master because his brother was supposed to have done a jingle before now. Excellent.
3, 2, 1, go.
Harry Parsons, sauna or ice bath?
Sauna.
Fish or chips?
Fish.
Ketchup or brown sauce?
Ketchup all the way.
Netflix or Amazon?
Netflix.
TikTok or Tinder?
TikTok.
Bollocks. Cardio or weights?
Sorry?
Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I have an Xbox, but I prefer PlayStation.
Golf or gym?
Gym.
Flip-flops or sliders?
Sliders.
Oxfords or brogues?
Oxfords.
Blondes or brunettes?
Brunettes.
Boobs or bum?
Bum.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Coke or Pepsi?
Sorry, Phil. Coke.
Shocking. Ale or lager?
Lager.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Calvin Klein's or oddballs?
Oddballs.
7s or 15s?
7s.
Disco tunes or Ibiza tunes?
Disco.
Good lad. Whistle or flag?
Whistle.
Pass the ball or run with it?
10 seconds.
Pass.
Bacon sandwich or sausage sandwich?
Bacon.
You can't just pinch the one from Countdown.
Yes, I fucking can. I could do whatever I want. You gave me free reign.
Good job, by the way, Jules. Good job.
Yeah, well done. I think your brother can probably compose one better than that, but there you go.
He can't.
Yeah.
That's why he hasn't done it.
Well, yeah. Oh, good point. Good point. Maybe you
I
can't.
can forget to remind him as well.
Dear. So listen, mate. Fairly standard answers, but we were a little bit surprised that you do weights.
Well,
to be honest,
weights.
I was nearly surprised with his 15s versus 7s, but then I've seen him scrummaging, so I'm not surprised anymore.
Harry, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you put weights on the weights?
Ooh, harsh. It's just been a couple of months is all. I do actually enjoy lifting weights. I've just not joined a gym here yet.
It's been a couple of months. I thought it had been a couple of years.
Oh, thanks.
But I just saying it was sliders, dude. Sliders.
Yeah, I know. I was up until my second year of uni. I was a flip flops man, but I was sold. I bought myself a pair of Adidas sliders, and I've never looked back.
Now, are we talking sliders with socks during the tournament, or we're just talking sliders in general?
If I'm going to the beach, I would prefer flip flops, but anything other than that, sliders.
With socks.
Sometimes, yes.
I am disgusted.
Who's the fashion police over there?
This is the thing. If you take your boots off between two games of sevens, you don't want to take off both pairs of socks. And your calf supports. At my age, anyway, I'm going to wear 2 pairs of socks and compression calf stockings.
All I'm going to say is do more yoga, become more flexible. It won't be a problem.
I don't know how to take that, but thanks anyway. So
I'm hearing is that he wants to see you in yoga pants.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Well,
Tom's not here tonight. You don't have to do that. You don't have to pretend.
Right.
Now, brunette and bum. Guess that's the current or future Mrs. Parsons.
I'm not sure about future Mrs. Parsons because she's not all up for marriage, but yeah.
She American?
But Harry is.
Harry, is she American?
She's Australian Korean.
How'd you meet her?
In Hong Kong.
Tinder. That's why he said TikTok.
So hang on. So she's Australian Korean, met in Hong Kong, lives in LA. This girl is properly cosmopolitan.
What the fuck's she doing with you?
I know.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's been trying to work this out for a long time.
Yeah.
But mate, you've let yourself down. You've let the team down, and most importantly tonight, you've let Phil down. You chose Coke, not Pepsi.
I like both, but if I had 2 bottles in front of me and I had a split second to choose, I would go for Coke. I'm sorry.
That explains all your other answers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it explains the fact he went for lager and not ale.
Well,
And he wears socks and his sliders.
Kind of either, to be honest.
And to be fair, I've never seen him drink ale or lager because he's a bit of a light.
As you know, I'm a fan of the cider.
Yes, but we need to get away from the cider because the cider. I didn't do it again, did I? Apparently, I've done it again. We need to get away from the cider because it's not good for you, and it's not good for our compatriots either. Cider has too much sugar. You need to drink some. Now, no, seriously, mate. I was told to drink more water. And then I did a little bit of research, and I found out for every pint of ale, real ale that's brewed, it takes 72 pints of water. So I'm rehydrating right now.
Not how it works, and you know it.
Yeah, it's a good excuse. And I'm glad you went for oddballs. Now, it has already been said about your 15's prowess at the scrum. That was your first game of the season, at first at that level. But I have worked with Harry on sevens, both as an AR for him, and he's AR'd for me. And I've got to say, Harry is good at sevens, and he really does switch on. So I'm quite happy that he's done that. And of course, he's been out with us all summer, so he's had no choice but to fucking like disco. Because that's all we fucking play. Although we know, to be fair, we do play Disco Madness and Ibiza stuff, anthems. And Harry, I've just done it again, haven't I? Shit, a brick.
This is a horrible, horrible quiz, and I hate it.
And on that bombshell, it's definitely time to say goodnight. We'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.